What's up, everybody? What's happening, chat? What's happening, chat? Feeling good to be back. First day of the brand new year, first day of 2026. Had to kick things off right. And we're kicking things off with a beard. So, my first question for you guys before we go any further is the beard chopped or is it a good move? I feel like I'm totally not sure how to feel about the new look. I know if I grow it out for like 2.5 more weeks, I'll probably have a bit of a beard going. I'm trying to show you guys a good shot. But right now it just looks so scraggly, bro. I feel like it looks so rough and it's hard for me to fully commit to it. I'm not sold on the beard look yet. So I feel like if you're going to be pushing a new look, you have to be sold on it. Maybe you guys will let me know in the comments for the people who are watching this recording or watching this later in the chat if the beard is chopped or not. Maybe we'll do a live shaving stream. That sounds wrong. Hang on a second. A live shaving stream, that sounds like a Diddy type idea. We got to pause and take a step back. But nah, man, I'm feeling all right. Look, we're here coming up with new ideas, brainstorming some stuff to do for the start of this year. And I really feel like for me, 2026 is not necessarily a year of reinventing the wheel. It's a year about consistency and implementation. So 2025 was a different year for my content, a different year for my approach all the way around when it comes to what I do, because it was a year for me to try to figure out what was next. I knew that in 2025, I had been doing things a certain way for a long time, doing content mostly just about music, the musician interviews, which are fantastic. I'm always going to keep doing those. But really, it sort of made my career, and I don't want to say this in a negative way, because it's not negative, but in a sense, it almost made my work feel a bit one-dimensional. I felt like 2024 especially, we'd really cemented the rock interviews. We've done that, and we've done it really well, and we've made a name for ourselves in that space. But really, at the end of 24, leading into 25, I was feeling the need for something different, feeling the need for some new discovery and some new angles to my content. And that's really what this past year was. We came all the way out to Thailand. We did the Southeast Asia run. What was supposed to be 1 month of different streaming and different ideas turned into now just about a year across Southeast Asia doing different things. And all this to say that I feel like 2025 was finding the new angles, but I feel like we found them now. So 2026 is not going to be about reinventing the wheel. It's not about having some grand discovery. I think it's about you've thrown so much shit at the wall and you know what's going to stick, so just stick with that for now. So that's going to be my 2026, guys. I already have it locked in. I already have the vision, lots of streams. So now that we've kicked things off with a little personal anecdote, let's hop into the first story of the day. Of course, you guys see my boy Diddy holding the Diddy Award at the Grammys. This is the new award that they're giving out, by the way, at all the award shows, the Diddy Award. So the new development in Diddy's story, and this is actually so hilarious, and this is so Diddy of the entire family. This just has Combs family written all over it. But Diddy's kids, Justin Combs, and King Combs, I guess is his name that he goes by, have announced their own clapback documentary, which was actually made in response to 50 Cent's documentary, Sean Combs' The Reckoning, which just came out on Netflix. Now, for anybody who's been watching the stream, we just did a whole reaction to that, to 50's documentary, and talking about really the reaction to it and the fact that this is getting a huge explosive response, but also shining a big light on Diddy and the type of person that he was. And evidently his family doesn't like this. So we're going to look at the trailer for this now. Diddy's sons announcing their own documentary. And this, I guess, this is going to be airing on a network called Zeus, the Zeus Network. And the CEO of Zeus put out a comment on Instagram saying the documentary is, quote, not intended to endorse, defend, or vindicate Diddy, and is instead centered on providing Justin and Christian the opportunity to share their personal story and lived experiences. So with that context, let's take a look at the new fuck type of trailer. Bro, what was this piece of garbage trailer? fuck type of Bro, what was this piece of garbage trailer? You know the show is cooked when not even the trailer looks good. Not even the trailer looks good. But this is the new teaser, I guess, for the documentary, which is going to be launched by Diddy's kids, I guess, sharing their voice, sharing their story amidst all of the pain that he's caused other people. I love that we've sort of lost perspective on the fact that he's in jail, not just, by mere coincidence. This is a dude who's caused much grief and much pain for many people. So I guess Diddy's kids need to be having their voices heard in that scenario. So a couple facts about the documentary just before we jump into my full reaction. So Justin Combs and Christian Combs shared the trailer on their Instagram for the documentary. The trailer ends with a phone call featuring an automated voice from Fort Dix Federal Correctional Center, institution, where Combs is imprisoned on a 50-month sentence for convictions on 2 federal prostitution charges. Forbes reports that it's unclear whether Combs was involved in the documentary's production or if the series will feature phone calls with the imprisoned rapper. And the documentary is not meant to glorify or vindicate Diddy's perspective as reported by the Zeus Network. Now, I gotta say, guys, this to me is just such a hilarious thing. And ultimately what I think it is, what we're seeing as these documentaries keep coming out, as the responses from the family keep coming out, as all these little pieces of footage and audio and all the personal anecdotes keep coming out, really all this serves to do is show us the true character, the true nature of the Combs family. That is ultimately the only thing that has been unearthed through these responses and these reactions and the tweets and the videos and everything that's coming out that's supposed to be helping their case, that's supposed to be helping Diddy. Whether it's the unearthed footage from 50 Cent showing Diddy's true character when he went to meet the public in Harlem, saying he needs to take a bath and wash his hands because he's been out amongst the general public, God forbid. He's been out amongst real, actual people, so he feels dirty. Or whether it's a situation like seeing King Combs trying to tell 50 Cent he's going to slap him if he sees him because of the documentary, but also the fact that they feel like their voices need to be heard. It's just instance after instance of the entitlement and the true character of this family. And that's really what this shows. This is a family who for some reason still seems to be thinking and believing that they are the victims. These kids are so entitled with this Hollywood mindset of everything being handed to them, and they feel like the world owes them something at all times. This is to such a degree that it's permeated even into this legal case. It's permeated into this situation. Because even with everything happening, even with all of the victims who've come out, even with the fact that Diddy's been exposed for countless things, and by the way, continues to be exposed as time goes on. This is the only dude who, after he's behind bars, I just keep hearing more and more crimes that he's done. He's been in jail for how long now? And every single day there's a new accusation about Diddy. There's a new video clip about Diddy. There's something about Diddy that's going to further bury him every single day. And this is after he's behind bars. So instead of just laying low and instead of just accepting that maybe there's a lot of shit going on right now that, by the way, maybe the kids don't even know about. Maybe instead of thinking, maybe my dad has really got himself into some bad shit and that's why he's in jail, maybe I should cool out for a little bit and sit back and see how this plays out. Instead of thinking like that, they're deciding to think with this entitlement. And the entitlement shows through the actions that they're taking. The move to make a documentary when your dad has victimized all these people, for you to have your voice heard, for you to get your message out. I hate to break it to you guys. Nobody's waiting to hear your side of the story. Nobody's interested in your message. Nobody really cares what you've been through. And this even reflects in the comments to this documentary. And the comments are hilarious, by the way. Happy 2026 to my boy, to Virginia in the chat. But in the comments, the reaction is universally the same. This one here says, nobody cares about their POV. They were involved too. I I never ran to the comments so fast. I know this isn't the special announcement. Everybody, because I guess they were teasing a special announcement. People are like, there's no way this is the special announcement. Is Zeus finna lose hella money? This is the wrong move. So, I mean, yeah, look, at the end of the day, like, people aren't really buying this. So it's so funny. Now, 50 Cent actually did respond to this documentary being released, and he actually responded to it right away, which I thought really, really funny, you know, on 50 Cent's part, something that he always does. But 50 immediately posted the trailer to his social media with the caption that says, "Wow, I want to see this show. I'm not sure this was a good idea." So yeah, bro, 50 Cent obviously just laughing in these dudes' faces. But again, I think that's probably the right move by 50, because 50 knows exactly what these dudes are doing. They're simply burying themselves. And that's really my ultimate takeaway for this situation, is the level of entitlement to feel like your voices need to be heard. Honestly, if I'm thinking about people who need a platform and who need their voices heard and who need a story told in 2026, if I'm thinking about people who really deserve to have that message spread, Diddy's kids are probably the last people I'm thinking about in that situation. Because these are people who've actually had it exceptionally good their entire life. These aren't people who've lived through hardship. These aren't people who've really been through anything. And if your dad has to go to jail because he's a monster, if your dad has to go to jail because he's victimized multiple people, that is not a sob story you're going to catch me getting behind. You know, I don't think it's something where we need to feel sympathy for his family, especially when Diddy has basically worked the system and he won. This is an aspect of the Diddy case that we're not talking about enough. So I have to pivot over to this for 2 seconds. And there's a clip to go with it as well. But we talked about this on the last stream. Think about the amount of things that Diddy was accused of. Think about the fact that he was looking, probably in the best case scenario, at going to prison for roughly 25 to 30 years. When we're going back to the beginning of the Diddy case, when we were really covering this story frequently, and when it was unclear what the actual sentencing would be, the low end of sentencing that they were discussing was minimum 25 to 30 years. You can go look it up and go find that. So this was a dude who best case was doing 25 to 30. Worst case was going away for life. Fast forward to now, 2026, the first day, this dude is good. He's got 4 years to do. He's doing virtually no time. And people feel like there's this big win, like Diddy was put away, like Diddy was cast out through this sentencing, when in reality, Diddy was actually the winner in this court case. Because there was no scenario where he was going to do no time. You know, people kind of are looking at it in a sense like Diddy went to jail so he lost. That could not be further from the truth. The person who won these legal proceedings was Sean Combs. And he won it because of the little amount of time that he's doing and the little charges he's actually being held accountable for. It's like a drop of water in the ocean when you compare what he's actually being held to account for versus what he's accused of. That's why Diddy actually won. And we do have this clip here to go along with it from, of all people, Tekashi 6ix9ine. Now look, I'm of the belief that you can listen to anybody. I'm not above the message. Even if it comes from a bad messenger, you could have a bum on the side of the street tell me wisdom that would change my life, potentially. So I'm always going to be open to the message, even if it's from a stupid, wacky messenger. But Tekashi 6ix9ine makes a lot of sense when he says here in this clip, look, Diddy beat the feds. Diddy straight up beat the feds. And I think if we're going to listen to this dude on anything, it's going to be shit about the law and prison, because he's basically a jailbird, this guy. So if I'm going to listen to Tekashi 6ix9ine, it's going to be about this.
Unc, you know.
It said 50 months.
He won. Yo, Diddy looked me in my face, bro, and said, yo, bro, I got them. Meaning, like, I said, yo, bro, you gonna take him to the door? He's like, I ain't got no choice, but I got it. I'm gonna win.
What's that
And
mean?
He won. He won. Like he's the only person that officially beat the feds.
How did he beat him? He's doing 50 months.
What do you mean? He was going away for
massacre.
life. He beat a Rico. He was going.
Yeah, he was going to Rico charge.
He was.
Oh, okay.
Nigga don't beat Rico
Yo, you see
charges.
Young Thug, that didn't beat no Rico. First of all, he pleaded out, and that's a Rico in the state. That's what people don't understand.
The average black man don't beat a Rico in America.
Nobody's beating him. No, listen, this is the thing.
It's our
Niggas be
teacher
like,
right
oh,
here.
I came home, I'm on a Rico. Nigga, you in a Rico in the state, in Fulton County. Stop letting these rappers lie and say you beat the feds. Nobody beat the feds. The only person to officially beat the feds, and look, he's still doing 4 years, is Diddy.
I think
So it's an interesting perspective, but look, I actually tend to agree with 6ix9ine, and a lot of other people have talked about this too. Like, they've talked about the fact that Diddy was going up against a lot of different forces. And this is the classic story of what happens to an entertainer. Now, just for absolute clarity, I'm not suggesting for a second that Diddy was innocent. I'm not suggesting for a second that Diddy doesn't deserve to be put away. I'm not saying he didn't commit his crimes. What I'm saying is that when you're an entertainer who is also a mogul, that is when you become seriously at risk when you're doing anything. So if you're ruffling feathers as an entertainer, that's one thing. But if you're ruffling feathers as an entertainer who also owns a record label, who also does production, who also has alcohol companies, who's actually taking revenue from those big companies and producing his own alcohol, when you're doing things in-house, it puts a target on your back. So not only was Diddy actually guilty of many crimes, he was going up against some very powerful people who could stand to put him out of business, who could stand to gain a lot by putting him out of business. These are people who did not want Diddy to keep thriving. Again, people in big business, liquor companies. These are companies and businesses that don't want anybody taking their money away. They don't necessarily want competing interest. So when you look at what Diddy was up against, yes, he was guilty of many crimes. Yes, he was looking at a lot of time. But I can't help but factor in the fact that he was looking at maybe even more time and more serious accountability because of the people and forces he was going up against. And he still managed to come out on the winning end of it to a degree. That's the crazy part. 4 years in a case like this is a massive win. And Diddy's also been behind the scenes making money in jail. He's been listing houses. He's been listing boats. He's been trying to list things. I think he just took his other house off the market. I'm not sure what exactly influenced him. That's crazy that my last search is Diddy baby oil. That's literally diabolical to have in the search history, but guess what? It's because of this picture. The baby oil award, the Diddy award. But yeah, so at the end of the day, bro, like, here's my prediction for Diddy. Yeah, he just took the house down. He had a $61 million LA mansion listed in the middle of his prison stay. See, like, this is some gangster shit. And I'm not a Diddy fan or supporter, by the way. But, bro, you're not doing that bad. That's why I'm like, why are his kids making a documentary? To tie all of this back into the original point, why are his kids crying and fussing, bro? Your dad just made a crazy legal comeback. He's doing 4 years after beating a RICO case. Dude is beating charges that put people in jail for the rest of their life. Plus, he's still rich. Plus, he's selling assets from behind bars worth tens of millions of dollars. And you're still complaining and bitching? Your dad is a mogul behind bars and you expect me to feel bad for you in any type of way? You expect me to feel like your voice needs to be heard? Bro, your voice does not need to be heard. If anything, you should shut up. Because your dad is still rich. And look, you got to pick your battles, bro. To Diddy's kids, you got to pick your battles, because here's what I think is happening with Diddy's kids. They're looking at their celebrity status fading away. They're not looking at the money fading away. They're looking at their clout fading away. They're looking at their family legacy and their family name being now completely tainted. You know, these are people who've lived their whole life, especially Christian Combs. they've lived their whole life getting mad clout, mad women, mad attention, mad respect because they were Diddy's kids. Up until this point, being Diddy's kid was super cool. Like probably one of the coolest things in Hollywood. I would say for the Hollywood kids, Diddy's kids were probably the most lit because they had that life. They were enjoying that life. And what I think is happening now is they've been stripped of their identity in a way, because when you're a kid who lives in the shadow of your celebrity parent, you don't really have much of an identity. So that is your identity. It's not going to be being who you are. It's going to be Diddy's kid, Diddy's kid. The second being Diddy's kid becomes lame and weird and gross, all of a sudden you're completely stripped of that identity. All of a sudden it's not Diddy's kid because that's not cool anymore. And what does that do to those kids? It leaves them with no sense of identity. It leaves them with feeling like they're hollow, like they have no personality, like their life has no meaning. And it's not financial because look, if they were only focused on finances, there would be no concern whatsoever. The money is still there. These kids are still rich, and they're always going to have daddy's money. So that even goes to further show my point. They are concerned about, well, we still want to be Diddy's kids and have that be lit and have that be cool and have that mean something. And that's when you see behavior like the documentary. That's when you see people starting to scramble because they're scrambling for what once was. They're scrambling for the fact that, man, I had all the girls in the club. They thought I was so dope because I was Diddy's kid. Not to mention this one on the right looks like Diddy. Like, if you, I mean, you kind of do have to fight because if you're Christian Combs, bro, like you're basically Diddy walking around. Look at this. Like that's him. So, I mean, it's like I can criticize him for fighting to try to make his name cool again. But at the same time, bro, you kind of got to fight because you're literally Diddy, bro. Like you're literally him. You got the same name. You got the same face. And the whole world is shitting on you. So it's got to be a shitty position. But honestly, bro, I don't feel that bad. And I don't really care. Because these guys are still rich. He's still rich. This dude's girl is richer than most of us. So it's like, I don't think they're really doing that bad, to be honest with you. I think dude's got a badass girl. He's still the son of a rich ass mogul. He's got money. He's got clout. Why do you need to run and make a documentary though? Why is that the move? Because you're basically making a documentary about how you're an entitled little prick. But I mean, look, I'll watch it. I'm curious to see what the documentary is actually going to be. I'll watch the documentary. Are you guys going to watch the documentary? So the documentary by Diddy's kids. Look at them looking at each other like they're like the Marvel Rangers. Like, we got to do something for our dad, man. I mean, you guys aren't going to do shit. What the fuck? You guys, they're looking at each other like they're about to go down to the Batcave and suit up and go break their dad out. You motherfuckers aren't doing a damn thing. Bro looking like he's at an Avengers meeting. So the documentary is going to drop on Zeus Networks in 2026, and we're going to see if Diddy's actually involved in the docuseries, guys. We'll play the trailer one more time because we played it right off the top when I don't think anybody really joined yet.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent?
We'll roll the trailer one more time because I was just laughing my ass off at this trailer.
In court for day one of their father's sex trafficking trial.
So ridiculous.
Hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony yesterday? Apologize on behalf of your father. Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still convinced your father's innocent? Your daddy got 4 years! Your daddy got 4 years for abusing women! That's wrong! He should get more!
They're acting as if it's unsubstantiated allegations, though. Like, bro, your dad is literally in jail for that reason. It's not like he's in jail for something else.
not afraid of the charges. Nothing that's
like the OJ all over again.
Hello. This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
This is so stupid. Oh my god, this shit's cooking me right now, man. No fucking way. And the strained expressions while they look at the TV, like they're holding their faces, they have their hands over their face, and they're stressed, and they can't believe what they're seeing. Bro, you know who's stressed? That little girl who ran out of Diddy's party naked and had to run through the streets screaming because your dad attacked her. You know who was stressed? I'll give you one even better. You know who was stressed? Cassie. That's who was stressed. Justin Combs and Christian Combs. I hear Cassie was pretty stressed. Don't even make me keep listing people. You know, I hear a lot of these male escorts and all these other people that your dad was victimizing were pretty stressed too. So I don't need to hear about stress. Especially when you're still rich off the same empire that your dad built with this conduct. Am I supposed to feel bad for you as you go spend that money? As you drive in a Rolls Royce that your dad literally got from killing Tupac and Biggie? Like, am I supposed to give a fuck? I mean, this shit's hilarious to me. This dude killed Tupac. He killed Biggie. He beat the dog shit out of a woman on tape and got away with it. And is one of the biggest sex traffickers in history. And his kids are here trying to make me feel bad. So tell me what's next. Maybe the Columbine shooters, their parents, are they going to make a documentary now? Maybe I should listen to a documentary from the parents of Columbine or the parents of the Sandy Hook shooter, and they should tell me why they feel bad that their son's in jail. And have a video of them looking at the news articles. See how ridiculous it sounds when you switch it? When you make it about something else, it sounds ridiculous. That's literally how ridiculous this is. He's in jail for paying people to come to the party. No, that's not true. Diddy took out his own wife. Dude, that's what I was going to say. He killed your own mom. I don't even mean to go there, but I got to go there because you're still defending this dude. Everybody around this dude who's ever died, he's been implemented in killing them. Implicated in killing them somehow. He's a literal monster, bro. Like, we've been knowing Diddy's a monster forever. We've been knowing that he killed Tupac. I don't even think that's debated anymore. I'm pretty sure that's not even a debate. And then he comes out dancing and shit, wearing angel wings, singing for Biggie and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Dude killed his best friend and then killed his own wife, and you're out here telling me that I need to feel bad.
You know what God told me to do?
Oh shit, if they're playing this from Netflix though, then they're gonna take me off if I play this. Let's just watch a little bit.
I had you know what God told me to do? Nothing. See, but you understand, you're doing something. Other people that need to do something, because this is ridiculous. Y'all watching, us watching this shit. You feel me? So he wants me to do nothing, but he's not saying he doesn't want Justin to use his brain and everybody to use their brains and to figure out whatever.
They'll be doing these freak offs and it'll be Puff and Justin in the room with multiple women, closed doors and lots of music and lots of drugs.
Bro, who has sex with their son? Pause, because that sounded off. But dude, who the fuck is gonna like be with a woman even separately with their son? That's some twisted behavior. Like, let's say even if he wasn't committing a lot of crimes, what type of sick individual is like, yeah, son, I got one girl, you get the next girl? That's fucked up. Chat, is that fucked up or is that just me? I think that's fucked up.
Celebrating life. You know what I'm saying? And it's Friday. And it's Friday.
I had prime Puff.
Yeah, I agree with the chat. The kids are too far gone. They have no clue who their dad is.
I saw as soon as I opened the door was Aubrey sprawled out on a leather couch, looking very inebriated. I didn't drink like that at all. At this time, I don't drink at all. It's never been an issue with me. She was naked from the bottom half, and she had something over her top. Puff Daddy was penetrating in her vagina, and there was another stocky, light-skinned man with his penis in her mouth.
Justin and Puff go in the bathroom together. Moments later, I hear...
Who am I to judge? Bro, I'm a fucking human being with morality. What do you mean, who are we to judge? He's fucking a girl with his son. How do you realize how crazy you sound, dude? Listen to what you're defending.
Boom, boom, 2 shots.
I think anybody can rationally judge that, yeah. Anybody with a fucking conscience can judge that.
I'm like, yo. So I'm going through sounds. I'm like, this can't be, you know. It's like, okay, maybe I hit one.
Well, that's Albie Shore's son? Okay, that makes sense, actually.
Those gunshots on a keypad. I see Justin and Puff walk out. I opened the door and he was in there just bleeding. He was bleeding out.
I remember I came home one day and Shine had an AK-47 with the bullet jammed in it. And he was like, I can't get this bullet out. And I was like, yo, if you can't get the bullet out, you shouldn't be having your hands on the gun.
Whoa, what the hell? He didn't even know how to use a gun?
Walk out.
Bro, why does everybody in America have guns? I want the chat to explain this to me because I'm too Canadian for this. Why does everybody have guns?
I opened the door and he was in there just bleeding. He was bleeding out.
I remember I came home one day and Shine had an AK-47 with the bullet jammed in it. And he was like, I can't get this bullet out. And I was like, yo, if you can't get the bullet out, you shouldn't be having your hands on the gun.
I do not own a gun. I do not carry a gun. The charges against me are 100% false. I had nothing to do with a shooting in this club.
Sean Puffy Combs is now facing 15 years.
Dude, his own people are ratting on him, though. This dude sits there and tells a story about a gun, and then they show a footage of Diddy saying there was no gun. See, this is why you got to pay your people well, bro. You got to pay your people well. If you don't pay your people enough, dude, they might keep their mouth shut for a couple of years, but they'll come back. That shit's going to come back to get you.
Maybe I hit one of those gunshots.
With a shooting in this club.
Sean Puffy Combs is now facing 15 years in prison for his involvement in a shootout.
Swag gonna walk that way.
It was like, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do?
Hell, walking to Brooklyn. I ain't never do this, and I'm from New York.
And no matter what you go through,
and I'm from New York, bro. What happened to those New York accents?
And I'm from.
I feel like those accents are going extinct.
Prison for his involvement in a shootout.
Swag gonna walk that way.
It was like, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do?
Hell, walking to Brooklyn. I ain't never do this, and I'm from New York.
And I'm from New York. Bro, now every girl I meet from New York is like, I had dinner in the West Village, and I had a really nice sandwich with avocado. Like, what happened to the fucking New York accent?
And no matter what you go through, you gotta be willing to take it, because this is what it's gonna be, being an artist.
A large strawberry cheesecake with extra strawberries.
Yeah, I got the TikTok voice now.
Apple pie. This is for Diddy.
It's absolute power and control. You belittle someone to make them live in fear of you. You can control a person once you break them down like that.
Come on, finish up strong. Come on, man.
These kids were young, they were naive, they were fans. Instead of being someone that they look up to, he was like just running them in the ground.
I hear banging at my door.
Go, chop, chop.
It's Puff. His pants are split open like a maniac, froth in the side of his mouth.
Bro, there's no context to this documentary. It's just like one bad story after the next about Diddy. Like, it's just bad story after bad story. And I love how 50 Cent 50 said that this documentary was balanced. Bro, this documentary is so not balanced.
He has a gun.
Like, everybody in this thing hates Diddy.
It's Puff. And his pants are split open like a maniac, frothing the side of his mouth. He has a gun, and he's mad as hell. Why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Kid Cudi. And I was like, oh, that's Cassie's friend. And he's like, yeah, f all this. Go get dressed. We're gonna go f him. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Bro, I thought the shit about Kid Cudi was a conspiracy theory. So he actually went after Kid Cudi?
Actually, go to the prosecutor.
Did you guys hear about this or no?
This guy committed another crime. And I would do the same thing with go to the prosecutor. Really put a package together. Here's what he said.
You shouldn't.
Rosanna, well, all of us know celebrities like P. Diddy get dragged through the mud all the time, but this latest allegation so shocking. Would you believe they're accusing P. Diddy of murder? P. Diddy's been sued a bunch of times before, but
In my life, to think that when you are championing someone and taking care of them, and you have their back, and you are the holder of came at a great cost, and the way he handled me was to erase me.
Cassie Ventura released a statement saying, I am so scared that his first actions will be swift retribution.
The reckoning for Sean Diddy Combs hinges on music's greatest unsolved crime. This episode confronts the allegations linking him to the murder of the notorious B.I.G.
So do you guys think he killed Biggie or not? I'll just ask a yes or no. Do you guys genuinely in the chat, do you think, and I don't mean that he actually physically killed him, but do you think that Diddy was behind it? I think, of course, dude. There's no question he was behind it.
When the Netflix documentary premiered, Diddy's team released a statement immediately after the documentary premiered, calling it a shameful hit piece. They claim Netflix used stolen and unauthorized footage that Combs has been collecting since he was 19 to tell his own story. According to them, Netflix unfairly misused this material and took private moments.
Bro, and see, people still don't know how 50 Cent got the footage, too, which is the craziest part. People literally, and this is why 50's doing his work. People have no clue how 50 Cent got his hands on the footage. We can play some more of the footage here in a second. Crazy shit. So let me see. Do you guys think that he killed Biggie? Yes, 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 no. I'm seeing like 50% yes, 50% no. He had something to do with it. He put the $1 million up for the kill. He totally killed Biggie.
Including conversations with his lawyers out of context. The statement argues that no rights to this footage were ever granted to Netflix or...
Bro, imagine if we lived in a world where Biggie was alive and Tupac was alive still. Like, dude, we look at the way that hip-hop is dying now. I swear, if Pac and Big were still alive to weigh in and be like the OGs for that culture, shit would be thriving right now. We should be living in a world where they're both alive.
Any third party, making its use both improper and misleading.
To Diddy's response, his team's response, and what they had to say about the documentary the second it came out. This is the statement. Netflix's so-called documentary is a shameful hit piece. Today's GMA teaser confirms that Netflix relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release.
Somebody said, why would he take out an asset like Biggie? Dude, that's exactly why he would take him out, because he was a massive asset. That's what people don't get. Like, if you have your hand in the residuals, if you have your hand in that pot, you stand to make more money off that person dead than when they're alive. Easily. Same with Michael Jackson. Any person that big, the people around them who have residuals have a lot of incentive to take them out.
Netflix and CEO Ted Sarandos know Mr. Combs has been amassing footage since he was 19 to tell his own story in his own way. It is fundamentally unfair and illegal for Netflix to misappropriate that work. Netflix is plainly desperate to sensationalize every minute of Mr. Combs' life without regard for truth in order to capitalize on a never-ending media frenzy. If Netflix cared about the truth or about Mr. Combs' legal rights, it would not be ripping private footage out of context, including conversations with his lawyers that were never intended for public viewing. No rights in that material were ever transferred to Netflix or any third party.
Bro, Netflix is so savage, though, because they just put out this footage with zero fucks given. Man, shout out to Netflix. The fact that Netflix teamed up with 50 Cent, and they're just like, we don't give a fuck if you want this footage out or not, bro. We're putting this footage out. That's crazy to me. We still don't know where 50 Cent got the footage, too. We have no clue where the actual source is. I want to watch some more of the footage. I know we played a little bit of it on the stream, but I just want to watch a bit more. Because this is such shocking footage. 50 Cent, Diddy. Hey, man, 627 people in the chat. Shout out to you guys, man. Hit the like button. I did not realize we had all those people in there. Shout out to you guys, man. So I want to watch a bit of the footage. So this is some of the footage that Diddy's team is super, super pissed off about. To the point where they have no clue how Netflix even got this footage. But this is sending Diddy's team into a complete tailspin. Take a look at this unearthed video from 50 Cent and Netflix.
Video also shows going on. The exclusive video also shows Combs in Harlem greeting fans.
Off my back, bro. Lord, you win. I'm gonna win. Lord, you win. Be with it. I'll accept it. I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do.
Gotta take a bath is crazy, bro. I've been amongst the people, so I gotta take a bath.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? Oh. It's like 150 hugs.
And you saw him going out and meeting his fans, and you're a public person as well. And there was one instance in Harlem, and his reaction when those people
went away.
Got in
the car and said, I feel like I need to wash, like I'm dirt. That was, it shows you his character.
Bro, look how 50 takes so much pleasure in this, though. Like, 50 just takes so much pleasure in just exposing this shit. I've never seen him look happier.
Was that the reason for including it?
Yeah. I mean, what's the odds that you would do that in front of the camera? Like, that's one of the moments where he forgot he was on tape. You know what I'm saying? And then gets back in the car and goes, I feel dirty. I need to just go sanitize myself up.
The 4-part series also features 2 jurors from
Yeah, that's crazy, though. But that's the thing. Diddy feels like he's above other people, dude. That's the genuine characteristics of a true narcissist. You feel like you're above people. You feel like people are somehow less cleanly than you or less, worthy than you. It's like people, they really feel like everybody else is under them when they have that level of narcissism. So it makes sense.
We're never
but again, Netflix guys releasing this footage with 50 Cent, and everybody on Diddy's team is having a meltdown saying, where the hell did you get this footage?
Cared about the truth or about Mr. Combs' legal rights, it would not be ripping private footage out of context, including conversations with his lawyers that were never intended for public viewing. No rights in that material were ever transferred to Netflix or
any... So do you guys think it's wrong for them to put this footage out, or do you guys think it's not too bad? I really don't think it matters too much unless they have like a real legal course of action to get this dealt with. If Diddy's team isn't going to do anything about it, for me, it's like put up or shut up. If they can't have the footage, then send a cease and desist and strike it to come down or something. If it's not at that level, then just shut up. That's what I would say to Diddy's team. But do you guys think it's warranted or not that 50 does this? Is it a dirty move or not?
Any third party.
They also criticized Netflix for involving Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, describing him as a longtime rival with a personal history of speaking negatively about Combs. Diddy's team said this decision felt like a personal betrayal, especially because Combs respected Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos and admired Clarence Avant. They expected fairness. And
bro, do you expect the guy from Netflix to respect anybody? Bro, the guy from Netflix respects nobody except for Benjamin Franklin, bro. He wants that paper. Dude, you guys see how Netflix moves. The second there's some sort of controversy, the second a dude gets killed, Netflix has the documentary out the next morning, bro. You know they're making the Rob Reiner documentary. He was killed by his son. Don't expect loyalty from Netflix.
Clarence Avant. They expected fairness and instead felt blindsided by Netflix giving creative involvement to someone they consider openly hostile.
It is equally staggering that Netflix handed creative control to Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, a longtime adversary with personal vendetta who has spent too much time slandering Mr. Combs. Beyond the legal issues,
You guys are savage in the chat. You guys are like, yeah, we don't care if this footage comes out. I love that.
This is a personal breach of trust. Mr. Combs has long respected Ted Sarandos and admired the legacy of Clarence Avant. For Netflix to give his life story to someone who has publicly attacked him for decades feels like an unnecessary and deeply personal affront. At minimum, he expected fairness from people he respected.
In this response, Netflix said the accusations are false. They clarified that the documentary is not connected to any prior discussions with Sean Combs, and that all footage used, particularly the material relevant to his indictment, was obtained legally. Netflix also explained that although 50 Cent is an executive producer, he does not control the creative direction. And
okay, that's bullshit. 50 definitely controls it. But bro, I think too that to call out Netflix for using footage is kind of wacky as well, because Netflix has been doing this for a long time. Like, do we really think this is the only controversial documentary that Netflix has ever put out, or the only documentary with obtained footage that Netflix has ever done? Like, dude, Netflix knows what they're doing. So for Diddy's legal team to be like, Netflix, you can't use that, I'm pretty sure the biggest streaming company on the planet is going to know what they can and can't use.
no one appearing in the documentary was paid.
Netflix then responded to what Diddy and his team had to say, and they said this: the claims being made about Sean Combs' The Reckoning are false. The project has no ties to any past conversations between Sean Combs and Netflix. The footage of Combs leading up to his indictment and arrest were legally obtained. This is not a hit piece or an act of retribution. Curtis Jackson is an executive producer but does not have creative control. No one was paid to participate.
A follow-up report detailed how the footage was acquired. The cameraman who originally filmed...
Do you guys believe that nobody was paid to participate? I don't think I believe that. Like, even a typical news interview or like a 60 Minutes interview, people are always paid to participate in a documentary. And if you're coming from a company like Netflix asking people to do interviews, what's the first thing people are going to ask? Where's my money at? People don't do interviews for free, dude. Like, the only interviews that are done for free are the ones that I do with celebrities when they're on a press run and they'll say, okay, we're going to do 5 interviews today with different radio